Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our training. So, purpose of this training is to allow you guys to take the reins on doing in-person cybersecurity and HIPAA training within your own units. Certainly, you guys are welcome to pair up for events with other units. If you want to do a larger event and get a couple MRC volunteers together from 2 or more units, certainly you can. But this is basically just another way to meet the requirement for volunteers to complete to complete cybersecurity and HIPAA training. So there's an online module which they can complete now at any time by logging into Train and going to that course and clicking on the links, and they can take the module that's available online, and that's one way to get credit for it. But we've also been asked by one or more of our unit coordinators to create an in-person version. That way they can activate volunteers to come into the district office or some training site and allow the MRC coordinator or some other trainer for that matter to go through all of the slides and give them the same material without making them do it online through Train. I know volunteers have different ways that they like learning. Internet access is not even everywhere. And so for some volunteers, this would probably be the best way to complete this training. And so that's why we're putting this together. We've put this together. The course that we're going to show you today has been fully approved by the Office of Information Management. It's got very specific instructions on how to deliver, and we ask that you do not deviate from delivering the course the way that we're showing you today, because deviations or alternate versions of the course are not approved per OIM. With that, I'll turn it over to Kate and Adrenia, who will be walking you through the do's and do nots of delivering in-person cybersecurity and HIPAA training. Over to you all.
Thanks, Mike. Can you hear me? Awesome. I'm like just fully paranoid now because my mic never works. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the administration of this training. It should take an hour to an hour and a half to do it in person, depending on how many questions that you're going to get during and after. You'll need a laptop, a projector, or some kind of AV equipment, the PowerPoint slides, which we'll send you, the training assessment forms, the assessment answer keys, and then the certificates. You can give the certificates either in person or they can go into Train afterwards and download the certificate. Depends on how you want to do it. It's up to you. So to start, you'll create an in-person session for this specific course. You'll create your own session, so time, and Adrenia is going to go into the in-depths about how to do the training stuff. The volunteers can either register themselves or you can batch register them using the information, who signed up on the training alert. And then after the training, you'll grade each assessment and then enter, I think it's pass, fail, and not the actual scores into Train. Complete and verify the course for each person who attended. The assessment requires an 80% to pass, so there are 10 questions. There are 2 versions of the test, 10 questions on each. If they get the first one right, they don't have to take the second one. They do get 2 chances, so they needed to get 8 questions right of the 10 in order to pass. If they fail both tests, then I don't think that there is a this is how long you have to wait to take the course again, but you do need to retake the course either in person or virtually, and then they'll have to retake the session. So now I'm just going to briefly show you, there is the PowerPoint presentation and then also the actual training guide. So the PowerPoint presentation is somewhere in my thousands of open tabs. Here. And I'm not going to go, slide by slide. There's 63 slides, but if you've taken the online version, then this will look very familiar to you. And it just goes through all of the different slides that are in the online version of it. And then also you can see here all of the notes. And basically what we did for the training guide is we just took the notes and made that into the script. So the training guide looks like I know I cannot see what I'm sharing. Can you see that? Okay, good. So it's a PDF document. It goes through sort of everything we just went through. Please don't change it. And then it's slide by slide, the script and how you should deliver. So there are some places where it just says, either review objectives or review, read slide as written. And then there are some trainer notes. So here it's, get your folks to participate. You'd ask someone to explain why they picked the answers that they picked. A lot of the trainer notes are that, just to get folks engaged, so you're not just sort of talking at them. Some of the script for the individual slides are longer than others. And then some of the scenarios, it'll tell you what the answer is, and then why, so the explanation of why the answer is what it is. More trainers' notes about getting folks to participate. And then the very end just talks again about the assessment. So this is the answer key for, so there's assessment A and assessment B. They're similar. Both have 10 questions. These are the answers. And then this is the actual assessment. So don't accidentally give your trainees the form with the highlights on it, because you're giving them the answers. Fairly straightforward and I think easy to understand. And what we're also going to add to this is, in between the actual start of the guide and the sort of administration information, we're going to put written instructions on how to set up the training. So any questions about any of this so far? No questions? Okay, Adriania, do you want to take over and talk about train?
Okay, will do. All right. Hopefully you all can see the train course ID 1111885. If you don't see it, please let me know before I go any further. Um, this course I already set up for you. So the only thing that you will need to do is go in here to add sessions. So what I'm going to go over is how to add a training session, how to add volunteers to your training session, how to provide the assessment scores and completion / verification for each attendee, volunteer, and then accessing the volunteer certificate. And all of this will be in Train. Um, when you add a session, you will have to do that again to this course, and multiple sessions can be added. I think someone from Greater Richmond already went in here and maybe was playing around adding a session. So multiple coordinators can get in here and add sessions for your particular training that you will offer for your in-person cybersecurity and HIPAA training. So the first thing you want to do, of course, is log in with your username and password into Train. Of course, you're going to select admin to be able to edit the course. And once you go in and find the course, you're going to go to edit, and then you're going to go down in the drop down menu and see the word sessions and click on sessions, because you will be adding sessions to this course that's already developed. In the top right corner, you see the word green tab in the words add session. Click on that. And you want to, you can do multiple sessions, but most of us will probably just be doing single sessions, at least at first. So go ahead and click on single or multiple, depending on how many sessions you're going to offer in person. So the first thing you want to do is click on add event and select the date that you want to offer the training. You can type it in, or you can use the calendar, open calendar, and select your dates. Totally up to you. Let's say we're going to offer this in-person training on the 27th. Then you want to go down and you want to select your start and end time for your in-person session. It's probably best to go ahead and select with your start with your end time first, and then go back and select your start. It just works better for some reason in this system. So let's say we're going to end at 10 a.m. and we'll start at 8:30. And you want to make sure that you select your AM and PMs that you're going to be offering the training. Now, training location, that's important to add here, again, because we're going to have multiple sessions in this train course. So you want to put in the location that you're going to offer the training. And this location is general. It could be the address of your health district. It could be the building's name. So for instance, I could put in here James Madison Building, or I can put in 109 Governor Street. It's totally up to you what you put in here. And then if for some reason someone has already used this facility for a previous training, you can hit the search bar and maybe find that in the list of trainings already there for you. And if that's the case, you just hit the plus sign and hit add. So let me go and put in 109 just to kind of give y'all an idea of what that looks like. If I can spell. Okay, so someone has already put in 109 Governor Street as a training location. We have some internets, and then we have some meeting rooms. And again, because this is a in-person session, of course, I'm going to be selecting a meeting room. So just keep that in mind. So if your facility is already listed here, once you put in the search bar, the location, click the green tab for add, and that will become your location. If for some reason your location is not listed here, no one has used your location for a train, you're going to have to add a new location and put that information here. Okay, so that's how that would work. along with the address, all that good information. Very simple. So let me just go back. I'm going to use 109 Governor Street, keep it easy. All right, and we'll go and use the mezzanine. All right. And so if all this information here under schedule is correct, then I'm going to click on the green button that says check and save event. Now, all the instructions that I'm going over has been typed out for you, and it will be listed in your instructor manual. So you will have all of this. So don't feel pressured to have to write any of this down. Then you will click on availability, and availability pretty much gives you or allows the groups that will be able to see this session and register for it. So I normally put in Virginia, only because not all of our folks are MRCs, and if they are not put under an MRC unit when they're set up and trained, they may not be able to see this training session. So a lot of times for the training sessions that I put in for MRCs, which is pretty much a lot of them, all of them, I normally put two groups, Virginia and then Virginia Medical Reserve Corps. So I select Virginia, and then I'm now going to put in Medical Reserve Corps as my other group. And again, this allows these groups to see the session when they go search for it. And I'm going to select Virginia, the entire state. All right. Then I'm going to go back over to the menu, left menu on the side. Calendar filters, you really don't have to worry about that. And I actually say on the instructions to skip that. Okay. Go down to details. Here under description, you can give a description on what the training is, any other information you may want to provide to the volunteers, like when they enter the building, they may have to drive up and park on the right side of the building and then enter on the left side. Any information you think needs to go here, even a map, any of that information can go here in the description. Deadline registration. This is optional. You can put in if you're giving your volunteers a deadline to register. Seat limit, again, that's going to be up to you. There's no max for this cybersecurity course. So that's totally up to you. If you want to add a notification basically will allow Train to send an email out a day or several days out to the volunteer that register, reminding them about this training. Okay, so that's up to you. That's optional. Here lately, I've been trying to set this up because people tend to forget, from week to week, almost day to day. So, and then any information you want to put in here, again, reminding them the address, what they need to bring, any information you can put here for a notification, or just reminding them of the title, the day, and the time of the training, and then hit apply. And again, that's optional, but you can do that. Session language, all of them are pretty much listed as English, but again, you have the capability to change that. If you want to add instructor, you can. I normally leave that blank. Then go down to contact. Contact will be your information or whoever will be your point of contact for this session. You want to add their information here. If you do not add their information here, whoever set up the course in Train, the cybersecurity in-person training course in Train, they will get all of the questions. And right now, I set it all up. So I don't want to get all the questions from your volunteers. So I am asking for each session that you set up to put your information or whoever you are assigning to be your point of contact information here. Okay. And then after you add that contact information, again, check off saving the contact information with the green checkbox. Okay. And let me see if it will let me. And then. And then when you have completed all of these steps here on the menu, and again, calendar filter, we did skip, it's not mandatory. And everything that's going to be lined in red will be those things like here, those sections you have to complete. Okay. So again, when everything is completed, then you're going to hit create session in the top right hand corner. And then your session will appear. Okay. And again, someone from Greater Richmond went in and played with it. And then I created the one here, the mezzanine. Jen, if you don't mind, let me get to the end, only because we're recording, and then I will answer your question if you don't mind. Thank you. Okay. So that is pretty much it as far as creating a session. So when you all create the sessions, they will be lined here. Okay. All right. So after creating a session, so I've created a session, I've marketed the training, and now I have volunteers who say they want to attend the training. What you can do is give them the course ID like we do with all of our online courses in Train, and they can go in and register themselves by clicking on the button register after they log in with their username and password. If they cannot log in, what you can do is what Kate talked about earlier, is adding them. This is permission from Brad Bradley that we can batch register these folks in this course, meaning you can go in and add them to the course. So let's say I'm going to add a volunteer to this particular course. So I'm going to go down to my session, and I'm going to find my session, and here's my session that I put in, 109 Governor Street on the 27th of September. And I'm going to click on the three dots here. And where it says roster, I'm going to go down and click on the roster option. And now where it says to the right, the tab that says assign users, I'm going to click on that option to start adding my volunteers to the roster. Now, this allows you 3 different ways to add volunteers to the roster. I will tell you, probably just for me, the search and select users is the way I've been doing it. I sometimes use IDs only when I have volunteers that have more similar names or the same name, or maybe more than one train account. So that kind of helped distinguish which account we're going to add them to the roster. So I normally just pick this option here, select and search and select users. So I normally start typing their name if possible, but again, you can use name, you can use email address, or you can use user ID. All right. Once you find the volunteer's name, and let's say the volunteer's name is Adrenia Tolliver, here she is. I'm going to select, check off in the box here, select her name. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to select assign one user because I've only selected one user. You can go back and add other names to the list. Again, you're developing your roster, totally up to you. And then when you scroll down to the bottom, it will let you know how many users you have selected. Okay. So far I've selected one. I'm going to click on that option there. And this is basically going to say how many users I've selected to add to my roster, and also letting me know that if they have an opt out, they're going to get an email notification that I registered them for this course. Now, keep in mind, some volunteers do opt out of receiving emails from Train. And when they do that, they do not get emails from Train. That includes connection links to for URLs for courses that may be upcoming. So just keep that in the back of your mind. All right. So here it lets me know that I have successfully assigned one user. That person also has opt in. So they're going to get an email notification that I've registered them for this particular training on the 27th. And if you want to just go through this process for each individual separately, you can, and just select assign more users to go on to your next person. All right. Once you finish that, just select the back option here. And so now that person is registered for the course, or I may have several listed, volunteers listed on my roster, and you see all the information here. All right. Now, moving on to assessment scores. So let's say that we've taught the class and we provided the assessment, we've graded the assessments, and now it's time to put the scores into train. You do have the fail or pass option, but because this course is 80%, we do have the option as super users to go in and put a number, percentage number of for the grade score. Okay, so once you actually do this, want to make sure I'm doing everything right. Then you want to find the individual, go back, log into train, find the course, search, and so forth. Then go to your roster. So let me get out. So here's my course, here's my session. I'm going to go to my roster, and I'm going to find the individuals, and I'm going to put the scores in for them. So right now, I only have one person that I provided the training to. I find her name. I'm going to go over, and I'm going to, click on her name. All right. And once her name comes up, you're going to go over to the right-hand corner into the edit button. Select that button, and you want to then go down to status, click on the drop-down menu, and select complete. Okay, select complete. And all these instructions, again, will be in your instructor manual. You can put the instructor completion date. And I don't know if it's going to allow me to put today's, but we'll see. And then you can go down to the score. And again, 80% is what is needed to pass this particular assessment. So I put in 80%. So again, when you click on the individual's name, go to the top right, select the edit button, and then select status, and you want to select completed. Okay. Completion date, and then go down to score, go over to the percentage option, and select your number, or you can type the number in that they're passing or failing the assessment with. And then once you finish that, that's really all you need to complete in these boxes here. And in the top right-hand corner, you see the save button. Go ahead and click on the save button here. And then it's going to say, before you log out, it's going to basically say this registration is completed and verified. You can unverify it. And so if you want to unverify, you can. But right now, because they passed, you selected completed, they are verified. And if for some reason it does, the banner shows up here that says verified, just double check your numbers and make sure everything is correct. And then if it is, you can select verify, or if they did fail, they will not be verified. Okay. Even though they have complete, they will be unverified. So that's totally up to you. The person certificates, because I have already uploaded certificates in this course, they can download the certificate here, and when they print it out, their name is already on it. Or you will get hard copy certificates, and you will be able to print those on whatever paper, type of paper you like, and it has the title and everything, but you will have to type in the volunteer's name or write it in. But if you put the information here for each volunteer, when you download their certificate for each individual, their name will automatically be inserted onto the certificate for you, so you don't have to type or write it in. Okay, so that is pretty much it